Can 5 minutes save you the agony of years of resistance? Yes, they can. Today I'm going to talk about the 5 minute rule. I call it the 5 minute rule of radical acceptance. It's a great tool that I learned while reading the book, The Miracle Equation by Hal Elrod. He's also the author of another book that has become quite famous. It's called The Miracle Morning. But for some reason, I gravitated more towards reading The Miracle Equation. I found it to be more inviting to my liking. So, what is the 5 minute rule? Hal explains that while he was working as a salesman at an international company called Cutco, he learned from one of his top senior managers something called the 5 minute rule. And the rule is very simple. It says that whenever you face a negative situation that triggers pain or triggers resistance in you or a negative reaction, that you are gonna take out your phone or take out your watch and you're gonna put 5 minutes on there and you're gonna spend those 5 minutes allowing whatever emotion that comes to you to go and express it. So what do I mean by to express the emotion that's gonna go? Let's say someone hits your car on the street and you just learned about it. So naturally, you're gonna feel a little bit of sadness. You're gonna feel a little bit of anger. Um, so these are natural feelings that all of us feel. So what you're gonna do, okay, now you're at your office and you just got the message that your car has been hit. You're gonna get up, pick up your phone, you're gonna put 5 minutes, and during those 5 minutes, you're gonna allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling. If it's anger, if it's resentment, if you want to curse, if you want to get release all this energy. And so you have these 5 minutes, and during those 5 minutes, you're allowed to feel whatever you're feeling. And you're just going to allow all the feelings to go through you without resistance. Now, once the 5 minutes are up, you're going to sit down and say, okay, now my 5 minutes are up. What can I do about this situation? So 5 minutes, you're going to allow yourself to feel whatever you're going to feel. After the 5 minutes, you're going to stop and you're going to look at the moment, at the now, and then you're going to say, okay, what can I do about this? Let me check what kind of damage has happened to my car. Can I call the insurance company? Do I need to get the police involved, etc., etc. So after the 5 minutes, you're not allowed to dwell on the emotions. No, you're gonna stop and you're gonna look at the action that you can take. And the reason that I'm saying that this rule is such a powerful tool is that because it's deeply, deeply spiritual. Now, a very, very involved spiritual person or a conscious person would be able to allow the emotions to run while staying rooted into the now. So he's going to feel the pain, maybe. He's going to have some resistance. He's going to know that this resistance is not him, not going to be identified with it. And then he's going to be able to stay in the now and take the right action. But until we get there, some of us have deep layers and layers of trapped emotions that we have collected over the years. And this makes it very difficult for us to deal with the amount of emotion that comes up when the situation triggers it. For example, if you've had anger accumulated inside of you for a long time, and then something makes you angry, what's going to happen is that all these emotions that you've trapped are going to be released in one, one moment. And this is going to create a lot of resistance and a lot of energy inside. So you may not be able to stay present while feeling all this energy. And the 5 minute rule will give you the space to allow this emotion to dissipate. It does actually two things. It allows you to look at the emotion with your consciousness, to be present with it. And this naturally gives the emotion a space to dissipate and become expressed. Moreover, it helps you trains you to become focused on the now after the emotion has gone. Now, when you start doing this, it may not work that after the 5 minutes you feel like, I need 10 more minutes, 15 more minutes. Um, But it's really important that after 5 minutes, you switch your focus to the now and start working on what can be done to the situation. Now, in the book, Hal explains that when he learned this rule, he started applying it in his job, first of all. So let's say he was a salesman and a client cancels at the last minute. So naturally, he's driven to his place, he's got himself ready, he has all his merchandise with him. So this would naturally create a reaction of anger in him. And so he would like set up the timer for 5 minutes, and then during those 5 minutes, he would allow himself to feel whatever he's feeling. And after the 5 minutes, he's like, okay, what can I do now? Oh, there's another client that is nearby that I can call and go visit. And this is what he's done. And with time, he realized that he can apply this to more and more difficult situations. Let's say he makes a mistake at work and that mistake costs his company money. So now he's in shock mode. He takes 5 minutes, looks at his emotions, and he says, okay, what can I do to help uh, to uh, to improve the situation? And maybe he can find that, okay, I have a client that I can catch up on, and his sale is going to make up for the money that I lost for the company. So this in turn becomes a tool for you to practice giving the emotion space and dealing with the now. Now, it may not be directly obvious why this is such a big deal, because many people are not really aware of their emotions. And I myself I've fallen for that for a long time. Let's say I have anger inside of me, or let's say I have resentment. It would stay inside me for months or maybe weeks, sometimes even years. Like you will hold on to a resistance pattern for years in your life, and you just don't know why you feel all this emotion inside of you. It's because you never released it when the situation happened. When the situation happened, you didn't accept it. You didn't surrender to it. You created this resistance that you did not express, that you did not give space to. And where does the energy go? It can't go anywhere as long as you're resisting it. So this creates more pain for you. And with time, you're going to accumulate more of these emotions, more of these feelings, until they become something what we call the pain body. And the pain body is very difficult to deal with because it is so intense, it's so heavy. Um, so I would say that the 5 minute rule will relieve you of a lot of the pain that you're going to feel in your life if you apply it consistently. Now, Hal, the writer of the book, he says that after using the 5 minute rule for a few months, um, he became um, so impressed by how effective it is that with time, he realized that what he needed to do is just look at the emotion. And actually, as Eckhart Tolle says, the moment you look at the emotion, it's going to start, you've given it space. It's going to start to dissipate. So naturally, most people would when they see the emotion, they would say, no, I don't want this emotion. So this is called resistance. And when you resist the emotion, you're trapping it inside of you because you're saying no. And if you look at your body, you go like, no, this is this creates this traps the emotion inside and creates and makes it much more difficult to release it. The opposite of this is to observe the emotion. Say, okay, now inside of me there's anger. I feel resentment inside of me. There's sadness in me. There's pain. And when I look at the emotion this way, I'm giving it space because I am space, because your consciousness is space. So the first mode of operating is to say no to it, to resist it. Say, I don't want to feel pain. I don't want to feel this emotion. And this is called resistance. The other side, which is surrender, which is to look at the emotion and accept it. Accept that this emotion is there. And this is a very practical way of doing it. That's why I call it the 5 minute rule of radical acceptance. I think this will transform anybody's life if you apply it. I do apply it myself whenever anything happens that I don't like or even like, and I can come back to that in a moment. So the the most interesting story in the book is that after applying the 5 minute rule for a few years, Hal gets into a car accident with a drunk driver. And unfortunately, he's sent to the hospital, and the doctors say that he won't be able to walk again. Now, I don't want to ruin the book for you. I think you should pick up the book and read it because it's such an amazing book. Um, but Hal says that when when he heard for the first time that the doctor saying you're not going to be able to walk again, he had a wave of emotion, a wave of anger, pain, as you can imagine, anybody hearing that. But what he did is like he remembered the 5 minute rule. He's like, okay, he set 5 minutes on his watch and he let all this emotion go through him. He's like, he cried. He almost screamed in the first 5 minutes. Maybe he needed another 5 minutes or another 10 minutes or maybe 15 minutes. In my opinion, that's okay, even if you take an hour for such a big situation like this. But afterwards, after observing the emotion for a while, he came to accept it and he said, well, I accept if this is God's plan for me. If this is what it is, I accept it. Now, what can I do? This is the second part, which is the most important part. This is like if you read the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. She says, let them do whatever they want and let me focus on what I can do. And this is exactly the same principle also of being proactive that Steve, sorry, Stephen R. Covey talks about in his book, Highly, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Just actually being proactive and dealing in your circle of influence. And he said, okay, let me see what I can do. Um, well, stress can make my situation worse. So I'm going to be as relaxed as possible. Um, Eating, I need to eat well. I need to maintain a positive mindset. And he did all of that, and eventually he walked again. So that's an amazing, amazing achievement, and all because of the 5 minute rule of radical acceptance. I personally have used this a lot. I've used this with situations where, for example, I clashed with someone close to me and I felt a lot of pain. And I was like, for the 5 minutes, I'm going to let myself feel whatever I feel. And I felt that the emotions were there, like they were trying to attack the other person. But then I realized they're just fear of being hurt. And with time, I became much more able to accept whatever happens. Um, this tool has helped me a lot become more peaceful, more surrendering to the now, and I think it will help you as well. Now, I have one more improvement to add to the 5 minute rule that will make it even more effective. And this rule is that not just to deal with, not just to use this rule when you have um, a negative or a resistance pattern come up, but also to use it with things that you perceive to be good. Let's say you get a promotion at work. Many people, when they have a positive event, they want to stick to it and attach it to their person. So let's say you get a promotion at work, you start feeling good about yourself, you start feeling that you are successful in life. This is also an illusion because you're judging your worth by what happens to you from the world. Um, or let's say you become, um, let's say you buy something that is very expensive and everyone is drawn to it. And now you feel uh, a wave of better, a wave of pride, a wave of that can become arrogance, of course, because of something that has nothing to do with you. So your car has nothing to do with who you are, but you mistake that for pointing to who you are. Because in your essence, you're just consciousness. You're using that car for a while until you die. It's not really actually, there's nothing. Ownership is just, it's a mental concept. So whenever you have something that you feel good about as well, um, you need to use the 5 minute rule. Or I have a better example still. Um, if you have children and you really love them, it might come to you that you start feeling that those children are yours when they're not actually your children. They are just the children of life. And you start clinging to them, you start wanting to suffocate them or keep them around you for a long time. Um, or you become too attached to their success and to their future and to what happens to them. This is also a big source of pain and going to be a big source of suffering for you. Unless you recognize that the good and the bad are just judgments by the mind. Eventually, everything is what it is, and this is what you have to accept the isness of everything in the moment. So, actually, there are no good or bad events, they're just events that happen to you, and bringing radical acceptance to them is also great. So, I would say, for example, let's say someone um, uh, is a soccer player and he wins the Champions League or wins the World Cup. He's going to give himself a few minutes to celebrate, and afterwards, he's going to say, okay, what do I have to do now? Go back to training. Otherwise, success can become a trap again for many people. So, there you have it. This is the 5 minute rule of radical acceptance. I've used this tool a lot in my life. I hope it helps you. If you like this, please share, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.